So I'm going to open Excel now on my screen. And do you have Excel currently installed on your laptop? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So this is Excel, and we'll be using it to start our training. So I will just start with a blank workbook so that we can start on a clean note. Now, what do we do with Excel? Basically, Excel is a spreadsheet program that we use for data analysis. We also use it for data visualization, and we can also use it to manipulate data. So basically, that is what we do with Excel. So Excel is a type of spreadsheet programs. So what you do with Excel, you can also achieve it with Google Sheets, sorry. So Google Sheets is another type of spreadsheet program that we have. But for this particular class, being a foundational class and a great way to know and set your alignment in the area of data analytics, we will be using Excel. And that is because Excel is one of the industry software that data analysts make use of. So let me just take you through the dashboard, the layout of the Excel program. And from there, I will pick it up. Now, on your Excel screen, you have at the top where you have book 1-Excel. You can see it there, book 1-Excel. Good. That book 1-Excel is what we call your document name. So that is where you get to know the name of the document you are currently working on. Then by your left-hand side, where you see the spotlight at the moment, by this left-hand side, good.
Yes.
You have your quick access toolbar. Your quick access toolbar. So this icon you have here is what we call your save icon. So when you click on this icon, you can easily save your document. Then there is a little icon just down here. If I click on it, you can see other things you can add to your quick access toolbar. The essence of this side of the Excel or any Microsoft software is to help you to customize what you can easily, the tools you easily make use of. So let's say, for instance, I want to add an open icon to my quick access toolbar. I just need to click on open, and you can see that open icon that has already been added, because that is part of what I use most times. Now, to my right, you can see what we call your minimize, your restore down. Sometimes it can work as maximize. Then you have your close. Then now, the next thing you have is your tabs. And I want you to pay attention to this, because by the time you get to the industry, sometimes they make use of the right nomenclature. And if you are not so conversant with the nomenclature, you might not understand what they are talking about. So pay attention to some of the names I will be mentioning, or how I will be telling you about the nomenclature of the Excel workspace. So this area, we call it your tab area. So where you see my spotlight at the moment, your file, your home, your inserts, your page layout, your formulas, your data, your review, view, good. They are your tabs, T-A-B-S, T-A-B-S, tabs. Now, for each tab that you have, we have what we call your groups. For each tab, you have groups. For instance, under the home tab, you have the first group, which is your clipboard group. So where I squared now is the clipboard group. Now, after the clipboard group, you have your font group. This is the font group. Then after the font group, you have your alignment group. Everything you have here is under the alignment group. Then after the alignment group, you have your number group. Good. Then after the number group, you have your styles, your cells, then your editing group. Good. So these are your groups. Then moving away from your groups, we also have what we call your tools. So for each group, there is a tool. For instance, under the font group, you have your bold tool. Under the font group, you have your italics tool. That is the I. Under the font group, you have your underline group. That is your U. Underline tool, sorry, that is your U. Then you also, under the font group, you have your font type. So font type is the style of your font. So for instance, you have Calibri. If you click where you have the arrow, you have different kind of font type that you can make use of. But most times in Excel, we don't bother so much about the font type because we are not doing word processing. So most times we don't really bother so much about the word type. Good. Then proceeding from there, if you move to your alignment group, you will see different kind of tool there. For instance, this is your left align. This is your center align. And this is your right align. Now, Excel on its own, by the time we start entering data now, you will find out that Excel has its own unique alignment. There is a way your tests are aligned in Excel. There is a way your numbers are aligned in Excel. And this is to make it easier for you to recognize each data. So, and it continues like that. For each group, there is a tool. There are tools for each group. So if I moved on now to the insert tab, as soon as I click on the insert tab, you will find out that my groups has changed. So I begin to have groups that are related to the tab. The same thing if you go to page layout, you will notice your groups are different and the tools are different based on the tab. So that's how the space are configured. Now, let's move down. This area, let me highlight it for you. This area is what we call your name box. Can you see where I draw the, I currently draw the red rectangle?
Wow, yes.
Good. So that area is called your name box. Name box. So this is where you see the name of your cell. So by the time we get to the aspect of cell, you will understand that better. But for now, just get to understand that this is where you see the name of your cell. And this is where you have the function you are currently using. By the time we get to formulas, you will understand what this means. And inside this box, this big box, is your formula bar. So this is where you see all the formulas you are entering in Excel, because Excel also works for like your calculator. So one of the easiest way to know if someone can use Excel is if there is a need for calculation and that individual is looking for a calculator, despite using Excel. You should know that that individual does not know how to use Excel, because you can't be using Excel and still be looking for a calculator. Okay, so that is the nomenclature for the upper part here. Then we have your columns and your rows. So for each of your columns, they are identified with alphabet. So all these ones that I'm putting a square box on, they are your columns. So you have column A, column B, column C, column D, column E, F, G, H, T, you get to Z. Then as soon as you get to Z, you start from from BA, then you move on to BB, BC, continue like that. You can see it. After Z, they move to AA, AB, AC, AD. So it continues. It's almost impossible for you to use it up. So your vertical members of the spreadsheet is what we call your column. Now your horizontal ones, which is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down like that, are what we call your rows. ROWS. So Your columns are your alphabets, and your rows are your numbers. Beautiful. So let's proceed from there. Now, below your spreadsheet, you have your spreadsheet number. Now, you can create more spreadsheets. Currently, we are on sheet 1. You can add more sheets by clicking the box, the plus icon that you have beside it, this side. So you can have more spreadsheets for one window of your Excel. So that will help you to be able to carry out many things at the same time. So as we proceed, you will learn why we have to create more sheets. Now, then you have your slider. So you use your slider to move to the left or to the right, and that will continue to increase as you are moving to the right, as you have more data on your columns to the right. Now you have your zoom slider, this small area here. So this place, you can use it to zoom your sheet or to reduce the size of your sheet. For instance, if I want to make my sheet to be bigger, I just need to come to the zoom here. You can see the sheet is getting bigger. Then if I want to reduce the sheet size, I can slide in the zoom slider. So, but most times it will be at 100 or even lower, depending on what you prefer. Okay, so for now, that is how to identify every aspect of your Excel window. Those are the things you need to pay attention to. So do you understand that before I proceed? Or any question in that regard?
No, I'll go on.
All right, so let me go on and let me zoom in my screen, my sheet, so that I can see it very well. So now I want to go into cell. We want to talk about cell in Excel, and it's one of the most important things in Excel. So for each box, like this box now that I highlighted, we call it a cell. And this is how we identify a cell. You firstly consider the column. This particular cell is aligning with column A, and at the same time is on row 1. So if I want to name this cell now, I will call it cell A1. Cell A1. The same thing, if I come to this side, this new one that I'm highlighting now, this is aligning to column D, and it's aligning to row 1. So this will be my cell D1. Good. Now, if I come here, this will be my cell what? This is aligning to F, and it's aligning to 4. Good. This will be my cell F4. Good. So if you can easily identify your cell as soon as, let's say for instance, you click on any of the cell now. As soon as I click on this cell now, this is C3. If you look at your, where you have your name box, you will notice what you have inside there is C3. Good. So anywhere you click under your name box, you will see the name of the cell. So this is E5, this is H7, this is A8, this is D9. This is what?
C5.
C5, beautiful. This is what?
J3.
J3, awesome. So we have been able to get how to name our cell. Good. Now, let me move on to talk about how to enter data into your cell. So how do we enter data into our cell? So let me make this bigger for easy visibility. Okay, now this is my first cell, and that is cell A1. The only way, or the The simple trick about entering the data into your cell is to click the cell and start typing. So let's say, for instance, we want to start a project. Probably you are a school teacher, and you need to. That is one of the simplest way I used to introduce Excel to people, because it makes it easier for you to achieve something. So our first project will be in line with creating a class workbook for your class as a class teacher. So let's say you have some students in your class and you want to create a workbook to record their grades, to analyze their grades, to know which student is performing well, to know which teacher is doing well, to know the subjects your students are performing well in. So you can create your own personal class workbook using Excel. So that would be our first project, and let's see how that will go as we learn about Excel. So to enter your data from cell A1, I will put the name of the student. That will be the first data I want to enter. Or maybe let me put their matric number. Matric number of the students. Now, when you enter the data into your cell, to move to another cell, the only thing you need to do is to press the tab. Press tab on your keyboard. Tab is T-A-B. I believe you can identify tab on your keyboard. Okay, good. So as soon as you press on the tab button, it will move you to the next cell. That is one way. Another way is you can just click on the cell using your mouse. Another way is you can use your arrow button to the right. The arrow button to the right on your keyboard. You can just press on it and it will move you to the next cell. Good. So I believe you understand how to move from one cell to the other.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. So that is the matric number. We've entered the matric number. Now I want to enter their names. That is the student names. Then I want to now enter the subjects. So for mathematics, then the next subject is English. The next subject is biology.
Okay, now we do have
next
no
subject,
biology.
Next subject is chemistry. And the last subject is physics. Let's stop like that because this is still a beginner class. Don't let us have too many data to work with for now. Okay, so let's enter their matric number. So their matric number will, okay, before I do that, let me do some formatting at the top here. This is my heading. So let me make it neater and beautiful. So let's see what we can do about that. Let's firstly ensure that each cell is revealing all the text. You can notice that in my cell B1, the student names, a part of the student's name is currently hidden. Can you see that? Hello?
Yeah, I'm too.
Yes, I said on cell B1.
Student name, yeah.
On cell B1, you can notice that a part of the cell is currently hidden. So there is a need for us to, good, there is a need for us to make it to show and we can see everything in the cell. So what you need to do to achieve that is click on any box, any cell, then move your mouse to be between B and C. As soon as your mouse is between B and C, you will see this black arrow, black cross with two edged arrow to the right and to the left. Can you see that?
Yeah. Just yes, part, I know.
Good. So you will now double click. By the time you double click, it will make the cell to be to reveal everything inside it. The same thing I will do for CD. I will double click, move my mouse to between English to make it to align well. the same thing. And good. I have what I want now. Now, to bold everything on this row, just move your mouse to 1. As soon as you get to 1, you will have this pointed arrow to the right. As soon as you bring your mouse on top of 1, even if it is 2, either 3 or 4, anytime your mouse is on the row number, you will notice that your arrow will be pointing to the right. When that happens, the meaning of that is when you click, everything on that row will be selected. Do you get that? Okay, so I will click on it now, and you can notice now everything on the row has been selected. Now I can bold it. I want to bold my heading. These are the heading of my spreadsheet. So to bold, I just need to press B. So under my font group, I will click on B. So this is the B. Let me show you so I can be sure of that. This is the B, the one I just highlighted now. So that is where I'm going to click to bold my heading. So I've done that, and you can see my headings are now bold. Another thing I want to do is I want to make all these names to be at the center of the cell. So under my alignment, I will click on this center icon. And as soon as I do that, everything will be on the center of the cell. Beautiful. So we now have matric number, student name, mathematics, English, biology, chemistry, physics as the heading. Awesome. Now let's do another thing. For each of the subjects, I want to make the heading to be, I want to change the direction of the heading. I want them to be on one line facing down, because it will be wasting, I will be wasting a lot of space if just to enter figures that are between 2 figures to 3 figures for this course, I'll be using this big amount of cell space. So that's too big. So I want to do something now. So I will select, to select a cell, to select more than one cell. After you have clicked on the cell, hold your left click, then move to move to select the cells you want to select. So what I just did now is I click on mathematics, hold my left click, move to the right to select the cells from C1 to G1. So I've selected the cells that involves the subject. Now I will come under my alignment and I will click the orientation icon. There is something called, sorry, I've forgotten that my screen is touch. Sorry, please. Okay, so I will click on the orientation. Then I will click on rotate test up. Rotate test up. So by the time I do that, you can notice that the tests have been rotated. So let me repeat that again. The first thing I did was to select the whole cell. Let me take it back. After selecting the whole cell, I come to the orientation icon at the top here. Let me highlight that so that you can see it. So this is the orientation. I believe you can see where I highlighted with red.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So that's your orientation icon. So I will click on the arrow by the side of it, and I will click rotate test up. Rotate test up. Good. And you will achieve this. So with this now, I can come to between my test, between C and D, double click and reduce the size. D and E, reduce the size, double click again. Good. So now I'm having a reasonable size for my cell. Awesome. So now let's go to enter their matric number. So matric number for the first student is 00. Let's do 00. 2023. Then the matric number for the second student. Oh, now Excel will automatically remove 0 in front of any figure. That's what just happened now. So let me use something that will make it look like a matric number. Let me do 10 slash EM, slash 2023. Awesome. So this is their matric number format. Then the second student, 11 slash EM slash 2023. Press the down arrow. The second student, 12 slash EM slash 2023. I press the down arrow again, 13 slash EM slash 2023. Down arrow, 14 slash EM slash 2023. Down arrow, 15 slash EM slash 2023. So let's leave it like that. So these are the matric number for the students. Now, let's see the names of the students. So for student 1, student 001, student 2, student 3,
okay.
student 4, student 5, and student 6. Okay. So this is student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, up to student 6. Let's give them their scores. Probably in mathematics, student 1 has, out of 100, let's give him 68. Student 2, 78, 45. So I'm just giving them a random score so that we can have a data to work with. So for this student here, okay, I believe you are following what I'm doing. Okay, so let me just quickly give them this random score that we can work with. So at the end of the class, I will send you this data so that you can use it to set up your own also when you are doing your personal practice. Okay. All right, so now each of the students now have their grades. So the teacher has been able to give them their grades and they now have their grades. Let's proceed now to analyze the grades. So far now, we've been able to see how to enter data into your spreadsheet. We've been able to see how to manipulate and add some formatting to your data. So you have seen how to adjust the size of your cell. You have seen how to rotate your cell data. And from there now, we can proceed to something huge. So now I want to calculate the total of their scores so that I will be able to determine probably which student comes first in the class. So let's put some things in the data so that we can analyze it better. So I want to firstly analyze the total. I want to get the total of the score. So that will help me to know how the students are performing. I want to analyze the average score. So the importance of the average, the goal of the average is to be able to know on the overall, is this particular student doing well? Because a student might score 90 in mathematics, and in English, he might score 20, and in biology, he scored 10. By the time you find the average, you will find out that on the overall, this student is not doing well, although he did well in mathematics. So average help you to see that information. You see, anytime we talk about data analytics is all about making your data to give you information that will help you to make the right decision, probably in your organization, for a business, or anybody, any institution you are analyzing the data for. So data analytics help you to make informed decision. So the results you try to get should be able to give you those informed decisions. Awesome. So now let's proceed to below the data. I will enter some other things. I want to find the minimum score. Then I want to know the maximum score for each subject so that I can know the students that are doing well per course. Then I want to find the average score for each subject. Okay, so now this is done. I can increase the size of these so that my maximum and minimum score will be showing well. Then I want to bold everything in this row using the method I taught you at the beginning. Okay. Awesome. So now we can calculate the minimum, maximum, and the average score. Okay, let me do something. Let me move this. So to move this to this cell, I want it to be under the student names. So what you just need to do is select everything, press Ctrl X on your keyboard, come here and click Ctrl V. So that is just a shortcut for you. So to be able to move a data, from one cell to another. So let me return it and show you what I just did. So what I did was that I click on this cell, then I select it down. So you remember I said when you want to select, you hold your left click and select down. Awesome. So then you press Ctrl X. X here is XYZ. You get it? X. Good. So Ctrl X. Then you click the first cell where you want to put the data. So I'll click this and I'll press Ctrl V. And it will move it. So that has been done now. So let's start from calculating the total. So what is the total score for each student? So this is where we start with we'll be starting with using formulas in Excel. Now, to calculate your total for Excel, the total of these students, please, I will need your attention very well now. To activate your formula, the only thing you need to do is click on the equal to button. Equal to. So equal to, we activate that. We tell Excel that the next operation you want to carry out is formula. Do you get that? Hello?
Yeah.
All right. So I've pressed the equal to sign to activate the formula function. Good. Now, what I want to calculate is the total of all the scores for each student. So in Excel, we call that finding the sum, S-U-M, sum. So I will just type S-U-M. As soon as I type S-U-M, take a look at below the cell. You can see some options that you have here. You have SUM, you have SUM-IF, SUM-IFS, that is some if, some product, and continuously like that. Good. So the one you want to use must be the one that is being highlighted with the blue highlight. Good. So if the formula you are looking for is the one that is highlighted on the blue with the blue highlights. The only thing you just need to do is to press your tab button. So what will happen is when you press the tab button, it will accept that particular formula and it will open a bracket for you. So the meaning of the open bracket is now you can enter the range of your summation. The range simply means from which number, from which cell to which cell do you want to have your addition. So for instance, I want to have my addition from cell C2 to cell G2. Good. So my addition will be from, this is C, this is 2. So from cell C2, that is from mathematics, plus English, plus biology, plus chemistry score, plus physics. So the range of that is from cell C2 to cell G2. Do you get that? So I will type C2 colon. To enter your column, you press Shift and you press your semicolon on your keyboard. So that will activate the column. So C2 colon G2. Then you will now close the brackets. And if you look at my formula tab, let me show you that. If you look at the formula bar, you can notice that what is currently written here is SUM open bracket C2 colon G2. C2 colon G2 means from C2 to G2. That will be where the addition will be carried out. Please, do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the purpose of understanding, I will do that again. So let me just erase it. So I want to find the sum. I will click on equal to. Then I will type sum, SUM, SUM. I find out that the SUM is currently selected. So I will press my tab. Then I will enter the range. So the first range, which is denoted with this number 1, the first range is C2. So C2 colon, the last range, G2, G2. Then as soon as you entered the range, you will notice that Excel will automatically select that range for you so that you can know that you have selected the correct, you have entered the correct range. Now you press the enter key on your keyboard. As soon as you press the enter key, you will get your total there automatically. So that's how to find your sum. So you don't need to repeat the same thing for all other ones. The simple thing you need to do is to copy the answer you have here and copy it for each box. As you are copying it and pasting it, it will be updating it to the right total. And I will show you how to do that. So the first way you can do that is click on this, press Ctrl+C, then come to the next cell and press Ctrl+V. You will notice as soon as I pasted the score, it updated it to 281. The same thing, if I come to the next cell and I press Ctrl+V, it will update it to 256. So what is actually happening is that Excel is picking from the information on the left, to get the answer to the right. So if you do the same thing for the next cell, Ctrl+V, it will be updating the scores. Ctrl+V, Ctrl+V is to paste, Ctrl+C is to copy. Good. Now, that is the first way to achieve that. Sorry, I don't like how this screen is showing. Good. So that is the first way to achieve that. The second way, which probably is the easiest way, let me delete all these ones, is to, oh, sorry, let me just delete the last 4 ones. Okay. The second way is to, after you have selected the cell by clicking on the cell, bring your mouse to where you have this green, there is a green, something like a green square. Let me zoom in so that you can see it. There is something like a green square just at the lower right-hand corner, let me draw a rectangle on it so that you can see it.
I see that.
You've seen it here, this side of the rectangle. So on that side of the rectangle, you can click on that green square and use it to copy your scores. So you bring your mouse to where you have that green square. As soon as your mouse is on top of it, you will have this black cross. Then you click and hold your left click. Then you drag it down. Yes, okay. You click it down, and you drag your content down to the last cell, and you release it. So as soon as you release it, you will notice that all the scores are being copied and updated to the right total.
Yeah.
Good. So let's just repeat that again. Click on the box, then select down and release it. So with that, you have your total score. Beautiful. So now let's proceed to the well done, sir. Good morning. Okay. So now we want to find the average. So let's make the total score to be bold. The same way we used to come to the number side. And as soon as you get on the numbers, you notice that when you click, the whole row will be selected. The same way when you do that for the column, if you click on the H now, and you click, the entire column will be selected. So now you can bold it. So let me click on the bold. So I've bold every score on that total. So that helps you to be able to represent your data very well. You can differentiate between the total and the actual scores. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is that by the time we are entering numbers, the numbers are aligned to the right automatically. But when you enter text, the tests are aligned to the left, as you can see here. Good. So that is how Excel tries to differentiate between different data types. So now let's go to average. Let's get to find out the average of each student. So with that, we can know probably a particular student will repeat the class. So any student that doesn't have up to 70 as an average might need to join us next year again. So let's find out the average of the students. To find the average, you click on your equal to sign again. Hello, are you still with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you click on the equal to sign to activate your average. Then to activate your formula, then you type average. So I've already seen average in the list. So I will just click, and that average is the one that is currently selected with the blue. Then I will click on the tab button. So click on tab. As soon as I click on tab, it accepted the formula and it opens a bracket for me. So now I can enter my range. So my range will be from C2 to G2. C2 to G2. So that is the range of the average I want to calculate. And when I say C2 to G2, what I'm saying is C2 colon G2. So that you can get that when you are typing yours. Then I will close the bracket.
Hello?
And press. Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm with you. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, are you talking to me? Hello.
Hello?
Are you talking to me, please?
Hello?
I can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can't hear you before. Sorry, sir.
Okay, you can hear me before. Wow,
Yeah,
sorry.
so.
But you
But
can hear
I
me
can
now.
get the same format to get the format to get the total and this thing. It's just that that one is
Yes.
for some and this one is for average. I agree.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Good.
Okay.
Okay, so I will press the enter now. So the average score for student 1 is 50.4. It's a pity this student might need to repeat the class. So let's copy the thing down for the other ones. Okay, so we've seen the average of the class. So almost everybody are between 50, 50, 50. Nobody even score up to 60% as average. So the whole class will be repeating. Okay, so that's for the average. Now let's move down and find the minimum score for each subject. So let's see the students that is doing well for each score. Hello, you want to enter through another device? Hello? Okay, let me share it with you. You want to enter? Hello, Ibrahim, are you back? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
now.
I can hear you. I don't know what's wrong.
Screen now. So I'm going back to Excel now. Okay. So let me know when you can see my screen.
When what?
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So now let's find the minimum score. So on the minimum score, you click on the first cell and you click your equal to sign. Then you type main. Main, yes, M-I-N. Main. So you can see it on the formula list below here. So as soon as you notice is the one that is selected, you click on the tab and you enter your range. So this time around, our range is from C2 down to C7. Hello. So from C2 down to C7. So now the C2, let's enter the C2 now. C2, C7, and I will close it. So it shows that I'm finding my range from student 1 down to student 6. Good. Then I can press enter. So the minimum score amidst the students in mathematics is 29. So the student that has that score is student 6. So student 6 is performing poorly in mathematics. Let's see the student that is performing. Okay, let's copy it for the other ones before we proceed. So just click on bring your mouse to where you have that green box. Click on it and move your score to the right. Move it to the right, copy it to the right, then you release it. So currently, you can find out that for each subject, for English now, the minimum score, sorry about that. For English, the minimum score is 42. For biology, the minimum score is 29. For chemistry, the minimum score is 27, and that is student 1. For physics, the minimum score is 39, and that is student 4. Now, because we are dealing with a very small data, it makes it easier for us to know the student with the minimum score. But in a situation where you are dealing with maybe like 1,000 students, it will be difficult for you to know the students that has that minimum score with your eyes. So that is where your conditional formatting comes in. So as we proceed, we will later talk about conditional formatting. You're welcome. Good morning. Have your seat. Okay, so thank you for that. All right, so the student that is performing poorly overall in the class based on the total is student 6, because he's the person with 246. And he also has the lowest average. Now, be careful with noise in a live class. Thank you. So now, the maximum score will tell us which student is performing well for each subject. Then under the total, we will get to know the students that is leading the class. All right, so let's do that. To find the maximum score, you click on equal to activate your formula. Then you click on M, you type max, M-A-X, max. As soon as you notice your max is selected, you click on tab and you enter your range, C2 down to C7, and you close it. So with that, you can press your enter, and the maximum score now is 78. And the student with 78 is student 2. So that means student 2 is currently the best student in our class for mathematics. So let's copy the same result for other ones. Just click on when you have the black cross, click on the square and select it to your right. So now, the person with 78 in English is the one doing well in English. The best student in biology is the person with 64.
Yeah.
The best student in chemistry is the person with 86. The best student in physics is the person with 60. The best student overall in the class is the person with 286. That's student 5. And the best student by average is still student 5, which is 7.2. Okay, so let's see the performance of the students averagely in each subject. So with the average score for each subject, we'll be able to know if overall the class is doing well in mathematics, in English, or any of the subjects. Okay, so let's find the average score. So equal to average. I notice the average has been selected, so I click on my tab. Then you enter your range, C2 down to 6-7, and you close it. Then you press the enter button. So now the average score is 57. So then I can select that. Okay. So now I found out that actually for this class, they are not doing well in biology generally. So that means probably their biology teacher is not doing well to teach them very well, because overall the class is not doing well in biology, because based on their average, they have just 45, followed by physics. So the physics teacher has to do more, followed by chemistry, then mathematics and English. So far, the students are doing very well in English. The students are performing well in English language. Okay, so finally for today, let's do conditional formatting. So that will be the last thing we'll be doing for today. Then you can go ahead and practice what we have learned. So, is there anything you did not understand to this moment? Is there anything you did not understand up to this moment? Hello?
Yeah.
I said, is there anything you don't understand up to this moment?
No, I'm with you. I'm getting everything. No worry, I'm with you.
All right. Don't worry, the
Yeah.
class will soon end for today. I noticed you are in the midst of your.
Yeah. Somebody is
Yeah.
active, but I'm with you, sir.
I understand. So we'll be done now. And so I just want to show you an aspect of conditional formatting, and we'll be done for today. Okay. So let's get started. So now we want to easily identify, let's say, for instance, I have a huge number of students, and it's not easy for me to use my eyes to locate the best students in mathematics or the students that are doing well in mathematics. I need to use what we call conditional formatting. So let's say, for instance, I want to start mathematics. I will select all the scores in mathematics. So just click on 68 and hold your left click and select down. So when you do that, after that selection, you can go to conditional formatting and move to what we have here. You have your icon sets. On the icon sets, you can pick any of these sets. But for now, let me just use this simple one, which is your traffic lights. Then I'll click on it. Then I'll click between C and D to make it easier for me to see the formatting. All right. So now you can see the formatting by the side of the numbers. You can see the green circles, the red circle, and the yellow circle. Good. So with this now, all these ones that are having green circles are the ones that are doing well in the class. Then the ones with the yellow circle is averagely okay. Then the guy with the red circle is performing poorly in the class. So that is an easier way for me to get an information from the class. I can repeat the same thing for English. I will select the whole scores under English, conditional formatting, icon sets. Then let me use this particular type of traffic lights. Expand it by coming between D and E and double click. And you can see now that for English, these two students are the ones doing well. Then 48, 42 is performing badly. 65, 59 is performing at an average. Good. So with that, we've been able to format each of the scores. Let's format our total, and at the same time, we are going to use a different formatting icon. So I will select my total, conditional formatting, icon sets, and I will use arrow keys. So with the arrow keys, anyone that is having the arrow pointing down will be repeating the class. Anyone with the arrow pointing up is doing well in the class. Anyone with the arrow pointing to the side is an average student. So by now, I can find out that from this conditional formatting, this particular student will repeat, this particular student will repeat, this particular student will repeat. This student will be promoted, this student will be promoted, these students will also be promoted as an average student. But these students and these students and these students are repeating the class because their arrow is pointing down. The meaning of that is they are performing poorly in the class. So we are going to stop at this point for today's class. If you have any question, kindly let me know. So today we've been able to go through the Excel workspace. We've been able to see how to name your Excel workspace. And at the same time, we have been able to learn how to enter data We've been able to learn how to manipulate your data. We've been able to see how to do some simple calculations in Excel. And at the same time, we've seen how to get some informed information so as to make informed decisions from our data. So thank you very much for today. Let me know if you have a question.
No, I'm okay with everything. I don't have any question for now.
All right. So I will want you to go and work on this. I will send you an empty data to your WhatsApp. I will send an empty data to your WhatsApp of this same Excel sheet, but that data will not be consisting of the total and the average. You are the one that will find the total and the average. You will find the maximum score, minimum score, and the average score. Then you will carry out some formatting. So you are expected to do that and show me tomorrow in class. Okay? So if you are okay with that, I'm going to stop my sharing now and we end the class for the day. So thank you so much, and I will chat you up with the sheet for the class work. God bless you and have a nice day. Enjoy your celebration and send my needs also.